focus on God and not the storm. Goliath was challenging the Israelites for good 40 days and 40 nights. The whole nations of Israel were scared of this man. Everyone trembled at the voice of this man, and it continued like that for 40 days. Remember, Israel is God's own country, and God is ready to give everything for Israel. All Israelites were scared. All of them were trembling at the voice of this man. The Israelites forgot the God that they had and the God that had been fighting for them. They forgot the strength of the God that chose them. They forgot how he dealt with the Egyptians. For good 40 days, this man was shouting and defiling them until a man appeared, a man who saw how big the God of Israel is. That man looked behind the size of the problem and remember the size of the God of Israel. He looked behind him and saw how big the God standing behind him is. That was when a whole nation was saved. Focus on God and not the storm. A lot of us cast our mind on the storm and how big the storm is, and we cast our mind on what we see. We forget what a big God we have and what a big God we serve. The weight and the size of our problem terrifies us. We forget very easily that our God is able to supply our needs according to his riches in glory. Note these three things. David saw how big the problem is and remembered he has a bigger God, a God that is capable of dealing with a huge problem. Always see God bigger than all your problems. Number two, David saw he could not solve the problem and handed the problem over to God. That's when God stepped in. You might keep struggling and keep passing through what you are passing through because you have not really passed the problem to God. You might keep wallowing and keep struggling in fear until you pass the problem to God. Number three, one single act of David saved the whole nation. You might be the one your whole generation is waiting for to make the change and make the difference. It might be that you needed a man to remind you how big your God is, and that's why I'm here today, to remind you how big your God is, so that you can focus on God and not the problem. Focus on God and not the problem. I remain your humble prophet, Mike Obigod. Shalom.